they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He do they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Poor man pikin, they the street, they hawk. Still them talk, say, make we no talk. But thank God, say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't Mayegun la wa mo la mo do.
Hello there.
Mayegun la wa mo la mo do.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are watching from, even though we are starting late, just a few minutes late, okay? I promise that it's going to be a very, very fulfilled night, and we're going to have all our time tonight. It is an open mic. Read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. Like the broadcast, share it, okay? And then you can pick up your phone and contribute to the conversation too. It's an open mic.
Ani esuraki.
Going to hear some touching stories tonight. Heard about black tax. If you haven't, you have been paying it anyway. You will know more tonight. People who have become entrapped in this black tax. Will listen to their story tonight, and they will learn from those who have been able to manage that and their finances and their lives. They just started an election in Liberia, by the way. Ironically, it was Nigeria that reinstated the democracy in that country. And guess who was the president of Nigeria at the time? Guess. Sonny Abacha. Motide. So good morning to you once again, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from, okay? This is Mayegun live, and this is the Temple of Truth. And tonight, we are not going to talk much about politics per se, even though what we are going to discuss tonight is so related to politics. You can put it this way: the bad leadership, the crooked, the criminals in charge of Nigeria, ruining Nigeria, as we all know, directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, a lot of us have been funding, subsidizing their failure with the bills that have now become, even a burden to so many people. I don't know, maybe it just became a burden or not, but yeah. We are going to have that as our open mic tonight. However, we are going to stop by in Liberia, where they just had their own presidential elections. Now, the incumbent president, George Weah, is contesting with an opposition candidate, and the election was so tight. I mean, they knew how many. I mean, they know how many voters they have, and 2.6 or 2.7 million voters are the registered voters in Liberia. So George Weah is their president, going for another term. Now, the election became so close that the electoral body of Liberia couldn't declare an outright winner because both of them didn't fulfill what is the constitutional requirement of Liberia. So they called for a rerun. And when you call for a rerun, you don't use, there's another technical part of that, which is like it's called the second balloting. So around that time, you won't have to use the same rule, all the rules used in the first ballot. Then it's going to be the highest voter, the person who's got the highest number of votes. And that's a straightforward declaration. So they did that, and the guy defeated the current president with, I think it's about 2,700 votes in the whole country. And immediately, George Weah conceded, congratulated the winner, and there was no bloodshed, no noise, no any kind of court case or whatever anymore. Straightforward. So the ruiners of Nigeria have been sending congratulations to George Weah. According to them, it's so rare for the incumbent to concede defeat. Egbere Jolantan, that one's a badge of honor. That he quickly called Bokwari and conceded defeat, even though it was still being rigged. He didn't want to go into all of this. I concede. And that is his badge of honor. So wherever there is any kind of democratic crisis in Africa, or they want to have election, rather, they will send him there as a peace convoy to go and show them that, listen, I handed over, I conceded, kind of. So he has also congratulated George Weah. Then Kolu too is sending congratulations by saying that, it is so rare in Africa for the incumbent to be defeated in an election and then conceded. That is an improvement on democracy in Africa. We are talking about the murderers, the slayer of the same democratic process. Okay, but you can tell the hypocrisy. So that's on Liberia. I told you it's just a quick stop. Tonight, I want to share with us, okay, the danger of black tax. A lot of us know this, but you probably don't really call it black tax. That's like a tag. Now, black tax is defined as, you see all those billings that are always there, that have become part of why you are either sort of overworking yourself in all those bills that are not yours. They are not of those who are of immediate family of yours. But I'm going to get to that anyway. So all those bills every month, they are called black tax. When Nigerians want to console themselves that Nigeria is still manageable and better, than the life of those of us living abroad. When they want to console themselves, they will say, they may pretend they may pretend to have money. Which money? They are all suffering in that place because it is bills that take away all of our money. They are partially right, not totally. But yeah, partially right in the sense that if some of us actually sit down and calculate how much of the sort of unnecessary, I don't want to call them unnecessary, some of those bills that you have to pick up in Nigeria, for example, that you have to pick up, they are not part of your bill to sustain you where you are living, but they are actually like there. It's like a tax you have to pay, kind of, eh? So at the end of the day, majority are left with next to nothing for themselves. But I'll come back to us because now that is the category where me I belong. But we'll come back to that. Black tax is simply sort of, described as the taxation that that comes to the black horse in the family or the black sheep in the family. As Africans, who believe that we have been through a lot, we all have a lot to say. In some African families, they invested all they have on one person so that whenever you finally get there, it will become your responsibility to carry everyone along as well. So, when one person in a family becomes wealthy, as Africans, something people call, maybe some said it is culture, some said it is entitlement, some said no, it is both entitlement culture, or another thing you might describe it as, right? So the moment one person becomes wealthy, the responsibilities of everyone, both immediate and extended family members, suddenly become theirs, and expectedly so. A lot didn't see anything really wrong in that, because it's like, if God bless you, your job is to now kind of try and help others to also get there. As beautiful as that sounds, from our own findings, these are those who have actually who have money now, okay? From their own personal experiences that they shared, they discovered that not only would you have to take all those responsibilities for everyone, okay? But some also goes as far as, instead of me giving you fish, giving you money, why don't I just set you up? So we've had people who have gone as far as investing millions on relatives, friends, and at the end of the day, some of them did not only regret this, some actually lost their lives or everything. That responsibility of, if you have to lift every member of the family, what do? You will be like, okay, I'm going to actually I want to settle every one of them. So we've had people who have suspended their own personal growth took their personal resources in the mind of, I want to uplift my family members. Most of this ended up in so much regret that many didn't really recover from. Now, don't let me kind of make you confused here. I'm going to put it into three phases. There are those who believed that the only way for them to enjoy their wealth is to, I think they have a word for it, is to settle your brothers or settle your sisters or pick up their bills or here and there. Then at the end of the day, those investments will go down the drain. And then the family bond you wanted to build, doing all of that, is eventually broken, tattered, and yourself, you are left with serious mental health issue. Most of them that will either alienate yourself from that same family that you have dreamt so much to do in order for. So there is this guy, John Obi Mikel. I think is the one who ignited the fire for this conversation. But before then, I think on this platform too, I have had people who have repeatedly, in their own anger, said they are going to stop supporting people in Nigeria. I am going to stop this. I am going to stop that. Coming from the background of the different disappointment they have faced, as well as the people, the Nigerians, where we believe that everyone is actually looking forward to take advantage of you. So we've had people who have actually worked so hard, especially in the diaspora. Somebody like me, I also I am on this table too. I belong to that. So I don't know if it is culture now or so, but I belong to that generation who believes that if I make money, then the only way to end poverty in my family is to also find somebody, or as many as possible, invest on them, put that money on them, and the rest of that. Sure, you get. So there are so many people here, not too rich, but somehow with what they have managed to put together, they have been, I don't want to say sort of deceived. I want to say they have been sort of obliged. No, that's not the right word. They have been cajoled. I'll use that. There are many who have been cajoled to pack all their hard-earned money from here on adventure investments encouraged by the people they trust. And the trust come from where? From where everyone is coming from. Like, oh, I've got 20 million naira. What do you think I could do with that money? And then somebody in Nigeria who you really trust, and they will say, oh, yeah, you could do this. And at the end of the day, the whole 20 million naira is gone. And then people will tell you, oh, you were dealing with the wrong people and all that stuff. But your intention was, if you put 20 million down, and then you expect, this is an investment sort of now, my brother, oh, I'm going to put a 20 million naira down for this, your business, your idea. So, and I believe that it's going to yield a 10 million naira profit or what have you. I don't care about the 10 million. If the 10 million naira is going to set you up and get you going in that business, no problem. Just once you have your profits, send back the 20 million naira. Then at the end of the day, the 20 million naira, the 10 million profit, everything is gone. Then the family bond, the friendship, the brotherly, whatever it is, right? Everything broken. Then you are now left broken. Here you get. So that intention that you had in seeing that, okay, once you do this, that is you helping somebody in order to kind of take them out of, you know what I mean? What you believe that the hardship, that whatever you believe you suffered in the past. So let me go back to that Mikel Obi. So they said that for those who know Mikel very much, footballers are very, very, very kind of rich guys. And if you are a footballer from Africa, or let's say Nigeria, with different footballers that you kind of know yourselves and all these stories and their families and all that. So let's take this Mikel. So Mikel was very rich and probably still very, very rich. And like a typical African or Nigerian who has a background from where everyone is coming from, we all believe that we all pray that we want to make it someday, and be able to lift everyone in your family out of generational poverty, you know, that kind of money. Then you ask everyone, what would you like me to do for you? And everybody begin to say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to have this business. And if you are very rich, that is the kind of conversation you'll be having at every homecoming. For example, you live abroad and you are very all right and everybody knows, right? When you go back home, okay, you will be, all the conversation you'll be having, the people will be having with you are are just going to be majorly their problems. Those who wants to pay this or pay that, or those who want to start business, or those who want this or that, they are likely going to be those kind of homecoming conversation. But if you have so much money, where you believe that, where in Nigeria, where they just have to exchange the money with the exchange rates, so generally, people believe that how much is the money you would probably want to give to your family. But the best thing is to settle them and kind of, you know what I mean, support them. So this Mikel Obi, for those who know them very well in Jos, and knows his brothers and his parents, especially his dad, and their humble beginning and all that. And the moment he became a football star, first he opened a studio for his brother, a music studio. Okay, he opened a transportation business for his father. Okay, and this transportation business wasn't just like any other transportation business. We are talking about a mass transit business, where it kind of started that with over 50 buses. If you still Google that, you will see that's for his father. Okay, I think he has a brother too who was also playing football at the time, right? But apart from other extended member of his family who also got this, right? But he now said, despite all of this, like, everybody come now. And you're like, what would you like me to do for you? And this one says, so I want to start a business. A business. What kind of business? This, okay, yeah. Yeah. Take 50 million naira. Go and start your business. What about you? What do you want to do? Oh, here, take 20 million naira. Oh, here, you, take 50 million. Yeah, 10 million. This one. And then you believe that, oh, by the time you meet them next time, they will be talking about their businesses and how everything is going. And at that time, you can have a proper family conversation. But only for you to turn up next year. And everybody, all of them are back again. And guess what? They are back with the complaints that their businesses are are struggling. They need more money to fund that business. And because you've started it anyway, at least they are still doing the business for those who are still. How much do you need? Okay, take. Then it got to a stage whereby Mikel said, and many of us have suffered that too. I'm using Mikel because he's a rich guy. Here you get now, correct rich guys. Now, Mikel said, things got to a stage, Apart from the fact that he's giving them money that way, right? But they still have to call for when they have, like every now and then, regularly, like, sorry, I mean, my daughter, I couldn't, I've spent all my money on business. I need to pay the school fees of my daughter because they are Mikel's family. They have to send their children now to the best school, the most expensive of them. Remember, they have no real job other than what is given to them, okay? But despite all that, you still have to pay school fees. I'm talking about school fees whereby your annual salary and someone who is like extended, okay? Or else they are going to tell the media different stories. Now, he said he got to a stage whereby they hardly even ask how is he doing? How is he? Like, how are you? Are you okay? How is everything? How is how is your own, how is your family? How is your career? They don't ask. Every message from them is to tell him, is to bill him. And he sat one day and he just calculated how much actually goes down that rabbit hole. And for the first time, he knew then that he was going to go bankrupt. And the moment he goes bankrupt, and he's no longer able to give them that same amount of money anymore, you see, everything is given to them. Everything will come back to nothing, to zero. And that's why I said there are people who are in that same epidemic, Mikel's shoes. Because immediately he dropped that statement, the typical entitled Nigerians, they started bombarding him. What is his problem? What is wrong with how much money? How can you come to the public and talk about your family like that? They are your family. You should be able to. And I know a lot of you are suffering that too. There are many of you watching me right now who are victims of this. At the point your own finances are struggling and you are also struggling to get things going, the same people that if you have actually, invested so much of your money to lift out of poverty, like we always believe that we can lift people out of poverty by giving them everything or setting them up and all of that. A lot of you are mostly these days on your own, okay? They hardly ask after your health. They hardly ask after your business or your job. They hardly ask about anything. Whenever their message comes through, it is to remind you that they are in problem. They need this or that. And there are people who are already having panic attack, who are living under panic. They can no longer share their winnings anymore on social media. You are not Mikelo, but I believe that many of us have this. Even if you are living in Nigeria, there are those who are living in Nigeria who are also suffering from this black tax. So, and that's why I'm like, we're going to share our stories here. Okay, I've had people who have shared much shocking stories too. So the bottom line is that if you have managed to sort of bridge it, how did you do it? How did you manage to put yourself back in order instead of running into debt and debt? I'm not saying that supporting your family should be. I mean, it's a problem. Oh, don't get it wrong. Oh, but what we are saying here is this: there are so many of us who have that mentality that, especially if you are abroad in the diaspora, we care so much about our people in Nigeria that we incur this black tax, and majority of us are suffering in silence. You can no longer pick up any calls. You are not supposed to be in debt because of yourself, but a lot of us are in so much debt, anxiety from the experience of trying to. Do you know what this billionaire Africans, you know what they said? They are like, if you because giving is actually our nature or culture. It's always there that you always want to support, especially when you have. You cannot watch your family suffer. Okay. So they asked these billionaires. One of them said, the moment he started tracking that he was going to end up as a failure in life if he should continue that culture, that mentality, was that in a year, he made around 80,000 US dollars. Okay. And he discovered that he was unable to pay his tax, but he shared the money, he shared everything. Like, then the following year, he made around 200,000 US dollar that year. And he discovered that he was unable to pay his taxes as well because he shared everything. Then a year after that as well, the following year, he was doing fine, making money, especially when you are making money. It's coming in, from making 500,000 naira every month. You started making 1 million. Then from there, 5 million. Then 10 million. Then 20 million a month. Now you are actually like signing multi-million naira deals and all that. This is money, it's there. And then, yeah, you won't see it anyway because around that time, that's like you have arrived. It's almost the same feeling. So he said, then he made $500,000 and he spent everything that year. And then he made $1 million. Then he made $1.5 million. That's a lot of money, Abi. He didn't pay any tax. He shared the money to who? To different members of his family, childhood friends, and the rest of. And you see, there is nothing. It is so great to help people and support them when they are indeed, you know what I mean, like productive. I am 100% in support of supporting people, member of your family, friends, and every other people that you think you have affinity to. It's great to do all of that. But you know what this guy now said? He made so much money. That was a lot of money. But number one, his life, his personal life, wasn't really anything to write home about. You can feel like he's making money. But at the same time, he has no track of that money. So what happened? Starting from immediate family members, because they will know when you begin to make money. Everybody will know, So starting with the immediate family members, and according to him, with what they suffered, the kind of poverty they experienced, the ideal thing is once you make it, you must what? You must lift others up. But the problem is, a lot of us have been doing it wrongly. Instead of lifting other people up, we have been allowing them to drag us down and drag us down until we can no longer have that boss making money, because money is something that requires a consistency and at the same time proper management. Because the moment it is no longer there, Baba, it won't be there. And that's when they said, lean on me, lean on me. So lean on me, lean on me. No be say make you press me die. So he said he was giving the money to them as they were coming. This one wanted money for mortgage. Oh yeah, I could give you that. Oh, that one could no longer pay their this or that. Oh yeah, I'll take that up. Then he puts majority of them on monthly allocation, monthly salaries. I have people I put on monthly allowances myself. Here you get, there's nothing wrong in them, nothing. Chige. But he was sharing his money, thinking giving them more and more. We eventually sought them and they will stop coming to ask. So when he realized that he was actually losing his ground and it will be a matter of time before he will become poor, what did he do? He made a resolution. And that resolution is that, of course, I have money, but I don't have that one that is always going to be your ATM that you can always make a withdrawal from. But this is the deal. If I ask you, what do you want to do with your life? And you tell me, this is what you want to do, this is how you want to go about it. And I realize that what is the monetary value of what you want to do? And you say, well, it's going to be this. Now, from my own side, let's say you have a family member that requires 100 naira to get them on track. Okay? And what you can really give is 50 naira, half of it. Now, you can easily just make it very clear. Listen, I am going to give you this 50 naira. I don't have 100 naira. Okay? But I'm going to give you this 50 naira. And you would never, ever come back to me for money again. I hope that is clear. They said if you try this, for those who have that kind of surplus, right, you are going to be saving yourselves about 70% of the trauma. The one that gives you that guilty, that guilty feeling that you owe people or you owe people around you. That was what that guy said. He said, now, how did I handle mine? Let me tell you mine before I start taking calls. Like I said, it's going to be an open mic. Open mic is that I want you to tell us your story. All right? There are people who need to hear them. Okay? How are you dealing with your own black tax? How did you recover or manage the kind of a black taxation that have become choking, that you have almost lost your mind simply because you are trying to help other people that you felt like needed to be helped? So how did I manage mine? There was a time in this place that I could say I was living from hand to mouth. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't by any means homeless. I didn't need much to live. Even my family here, they didn't actually need much. My family back in Nigeria, they also didn't need much per se until now anyway. Sure you get, I wasn't making much myself. But I ignorantly, let me put that way. I wanted to say accidentally, but no, it's not by accident. Ignorantly started connecting my former experience living in Nigeria. I started connecting that with everyone that is my friend on social media living in Nigeria. So, what do I mean by that? After leaving Nigeria and having friends on social media who send, we kind of communicate and interact and all that. And back then, I sort of, ignorantly would ask people, a long time, I've not heard from you. How are you? How is everything? At the moment you ask Nigerians that, how is everything? Just to make sure that you have something to give for the answer they are going to give to you. But ignorant me, I will be engaging in conversations like that, and I will be incurring debt. that means I will be borrowing money to send to people who, to me, when they said they are almost as I won't lie to you, I have not heard since 2 days. I'm telling you, as I have been, the people that will kind of make you feel so sad for them, even though you don't have the money, but you still feel like, even if I don't have it now, I will have the money at the end of the month, or I will have the money next week. Let me see somebody who can borrow me the money. So at the end of the month, I will be paying debts that I didn't incur for myself or any member of my family per se. So I was so drenched in it that it became concerning. When I will sit down and I'll be thinking of how much I am currently owing. The random people I have called to help me give this or that money. Yeah? I mean, people will be calling me that, Mayegu, I hope you haven't forgotten your promise. Sorry, brother. Sorry, sir. I hope you've not forgotten your promise. I just thought I should remind you. God will bless you, sir. That was my life. That was the story of my life. Then one day, something happened. It wasn't one day, it was 2019. So in 2019, then I've started Mayegun's Diary Political a while back anyway. So by 2019, I was expecting those that I have built relationship with like that, who have kind of known that I frown so much at the criminality going on in Nigeria, and I have not hidden that. So I was expecting them to kind of be the loudest against the establishment, but they weren't. Not only that they were the pro status quo in Nigeria, they came for me. I mean, those I paid their school fees, hospital bills, money for this, money for that I can't even say, that I ran into debt for secretly. I will be kind of calculating my losses behind the scene. I watched them jumping up and down for the same criminals who made life hell for them. That was my first baptismal of fire. And that was the moment I told myself, if I don't have it, I will never put myself in that situation anymore. I will never put my family in that situation anymore. A situation whereby you are in debt and every other things that I have to kind of use my money for here. For my family, I will use them paying debt for people I don't even know, random people here and there. So I now discovered that it was pure sort of a foolishness. Okay, this is my own experience now. So to manage it, what I did was to make sure that I decided to start taking stock of my expenses. And I discovered that in a single month, I am actually sending extra £400 to just random people in a single month. And I don't think I was making up to £1,500 every month that time. I don't think so. So that was why I was always like running short. Extra £400. So what did I do? I started cutting it down like, okay, first, it's not going to be 400 anymore. Any excess that is beyond £100, I am no longer for it. Not that I won't give, still giving. But when I have the threshold of how much I have, the moment it is gone, it is gone. And I started having a full better control over my own finances. This is me now, Mayegu. So now that I actually make very good money, no doubt, I am no longer in that rabbit hole. Because it doesn't matter how much money you are making, whether it is little or big. The moment you walk about with that guilty mentality, The mentality that makes you feel like you owe a lot of people so much, even when you are already losing all you have. There are those who found out late, and there are those who managed to find this out early, and they have been in control since. They are not so rich, oh, sure you get. But all of it are not just gloom, 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 gloom. Listen to this, oh. There are those who have very, very, very good stories to tell you. They will tell you, listen, my brother, the greatest and the biggest thing I have ever done in my life was the fact that I was able to change the lives of my this, that. Not by giving them money alone. It is by actually showing them how to make that money. And I have no regrets. There are people like that will tell you that. They will tell you that, you know, they've are what they are today. Because the idea was to make sure that not just their brothers or their sisters or family members are uplifted, including their friends, and they have no single regrets. We want to hear your own story too, because we know it is called the black tax. And the black tax is actually, the point here is that black tax is destroying so many black lives. There are many people living in that bondage today. Okay? I mean, what did you do? What did you do wrong? You promised to fund somebody's, some people's life, right? And it's becoming more like you can't anymore. But here you are. You can't let them even know that you are still alive. Some people are living in a way that they don't even want their family members to know that they are still alive, or where they are living. They don't even want them to know anything about them anymore. Why? When they share their story, you'll just be like, So tonight, the number to call is right there on your screen. I wasn't expecting a lot of us tonight, because it's going to be like conversational, open mic. It's called. Okay. So if you have any of this to share with us, all you have to do is just, something. Prepare your, what do you call it? Prepare your story. You don't really have to tell us your name. You don't even have to. And I want to assure you that this is a very, very safe place or safe space where you can, because we want to see what this black tax of a thing means to you, and how are you managing it? Okay? How is your family surviving it? What makes you feel for the first time that if you don't control this your messianic mentality, you want to save this, you want to save that, you may lose your life or lose everything you have. When did that come to you? Or, here, I think I have a caller, by the way. I have a caller whose network is currently not connecting. So I'm going to ask you to please call back. Okay. That number seems to be calling from Nigeria, by the way. So if you are that person, somehow your network is it's not it's not picking up. Now, what you have is that you don't really have to faragun per se, okay? Share your story, your experience, and even if you are currently still experiencing it and you don't know how to get out of it, call in, share that with us. Somebody is going to pick up on your story as well, and you are going to be saving lives because you are not alone. I have somebody on the line. Hello there.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good
Yeah, afternoon here.
afternoon, sir.
How are you?
I am
You know
very
what?
well. Is that Air Force One or so?
I am to Kinjasa.
Good. Sorry, I was gonna keep it anonymous. I don't really want people to say their name if they don't want to, but I just couldn't help it when I heard your voice. So the conversation tonight, you have heard me if you have started with us earlier, right? And it is about the
yes, I saw that. Yeah.
We want you to tell us and share your own experience as brief as you can.
Yes.
Share you get, and then yes,
yes,
over to you.
Okay, so I think my story. When I left Nigeria, I was in nursing school. I think I was going to year two when I won lottery and I came over here to US. So, but back then, being the firstborn of the family, so much responsibilities. In fact, I told my mom when I was leaving, I said, I'm just going for them. I'm going for the family. I didn't even know what I was saying back then, you know. So I got in here for the maybe roughly